One question says, how about Khalifa? Where is that question? The question was answered. It's no longer a question. It is a belief, it is a fact that ideally the Muslim should be working towards stage 5, and stage 5 is Khilafah. And Khilafah means unity among the Muslim Ummah. That form of Khilafah, the principle is there. What form it might take, it's an open question. Because it simply says it's rightly guided caliphate following the prophetic path. Whether you would like to have one Khalifa for the whole Muslim world, or whether you have a sort of confederation when there is some one head, common head for all Muslims, but there is some autonomy giving the huge regions and spread of Muslims all over the world. Whether you want to have collective Khalifa or Khilafah, collective leadership for all Muslims. I'm not referring to so-called Islamic conferences where nothing is done really, except speeches and statements and press conferences. Real decisions pertaining to removing the zulm, the oppression, and the strangulation of Muslims who are in suffering, taking position very clearly and stages to implement the restoration of Muslim rights and occupied land that has been taken away from them. But if indeed you have the proper khilafah, where even you have a collective leadership where Muslims as part of the Muslim Ummah might have autonomy in certain areas, and then you have centralization of foreign relations, of issues that pertain to Muslims at large. It is open. I'm not saying one or the other is the only solution. We should be open to that. We have to distinguish between the objective and the means of achieving that objective. No question about it. And the second question, of course, how to achieve that? Should that be achieved from the top or from the bottom? Are we going to just push people against their will by dictatorial means and violent means and impose it from the top? Or are we going to follow the path of the Prophet ﷺ, who started by entrenching Iman in the heart of people, spreading that Iman, having a very, very strong and powerful base, and from that on, the government was the last. The Prophet ﷺ did not start in Mecca by assassinations to establish governments. He could have sent assassins, and many people were willing to sacrifice their life to kill the most torturous persecutors of Muslims. Abu Jahl and Abu Lahab and all the other Abus. By the way, some of those Abus became Muslims later and defenders of Islam. He could have imposed it by force. He didn't choose that. But when people really became strong believers, when heart came into their faith, commitment to Allah was their guide, government came automatically once they had the opportunity when they went to Medina. So these are the two issues, but not the dispute. There is no dispute between Muslims about Khilafah. There's no question about that. It is the wise and prophetic way of achieving that that really matters. The other question, as I try to again Can you read it for me, Zach?